I can't hear anything. I can't hear. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Test.
Do another test for the ¿Qué onda?
Well, welcome everybody to Los Angeles, California, Hollywood. To be more specific, I'm Chris Mannix, part of the DAZN broadcast team, and we're here today at the Avalon Theater for the kickoff press conference for the cruiserweight showdown between Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., all presented by Most Valuable Promotions. This event will air globally on DAZN pay-per-view on Saturday, June 28th from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. It is presented by Celsius Live Fit Essential Energy and is in association with Golden Boy Promotions. Paul against Chavez Jr. is also sponsored by Event Ticket Center and Fansly, and the one-of-a-kind MVP Owner's Experience valued at $1 million has been sold to Torque Law, the premier national personal injury firm. Tickets for MVP's Paul vs. Chavez show are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. This event marks Jake Paul's first time back in the ring since his win against Mike Tyson this past year, an event that shattered records and became the most streamed sporting event ever, with 108 million live viewers globally. The headline is, of course, the problem child, Jake El Gallo de Dorado Paul, 11-1 record, 7 wins, coming by knockout. He'll go up against the former middleweight champion of the world, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who comes into this fight with a fan base, of course, and a record of 54, 6-1 with 34 KOs. This will be a 10-round matchup in the cruiserweight division. It is a great main event, an intriguing main event, no doubt, but there's also a pretty good co-main event on this card as well. The unified cruiserweight champion, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, 47-1, 30 knockouts on his resume. He will make a title defense against Cuba's former WBA and IBF cruiserweight title holder and the current mandatory challenger, Yuniel Dorticas. This fight will be for the WBA and WBO cruiserweight championships of the world. Terrific fight, terrific matchup. Dorticas, as people in boxing know, one of the biggest punchers in this weight class. So let's please welcome the co-main event to the stage. 12 rounds for the unified cruiserweight championship. First, the challenger, someone well known in boxing circles, an explosive talent, renowned as one of the best punchers in this weight class, 27 wins, 25 of them coming by knockout. He's the former IBF and WBA cruiserweight world champion and the current WBA mandatory challenger. Coming to the stage from Miami, Florida, by way of Cienfuegos, Cuba, please welcome Yuniel Dorticas. Well, now we bring up the champion, making the first defense of his unified cruiserweight championship, fresh off a decisive win over in Saudi Arabia of Chris Billam-Smith last year. 3 fights in the cruiserweight division for this man, with 2 world titles to show for it. Please welcome the former super middleweight world champion and the unified cruiserweight champion of the world, from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. And now for our main event. A 10-round cruiserweight fight, the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul, will take on Mexico's former world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. First up, a man with one of the most recognizable last names in all of boxing, the son of the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, El Gran Campeón Mexicano, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is coming off a unanimous decision victory over MMA veteran Uriah Hall last summer. He now sets his sights on regaining his place in the rankings of the world, the former middleweight world champion. From Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And our next man needs no introduction. He returns to the ring fresh from his victory over Mike Tyson, where he made history with the most streamed sporting event ever. Love him or hate him, you cannot question Jake Paul's impact on boxing. He has brought new eyeballs to the sport, he has championed fighter pay, and he has uplifted women's boxing. On June 28th, he continues his journey to becoming a world champion in what could be and should be his most challenging fight to date. Please welcome the disruptor, the pride of Puerto Rico, El Gallo de Dorado, the problem child, Jake Paul. We have an empty chair there next to Julio Jr., so I want to bring out his father, the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, El Gran Campeón, Julio Cesar Chavez. Well, this fight is being put on in association with Golden Boy Promotions, the man at the top of that company, 6th Division World Champion, the Hall of Famer, and Chairman and CEO of Golden Boy, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya.
Gracias. Thank you very much. Wow. Good afternoon, everyone. The excitement in the air is electric as we witness an incredible event unfold before our eyes. First of all, I want to thank Jake Paul. I want to thank Nakisa, the entire MVP staff, and DAZN for allowing Golden Boy to be part of this stacked pay-per-view. We are ecstatic to work with you and deliver a fight card that fans around the world can enjoy. You can run the tape back. I've screamed from the top of my lungs that I will work with anyone and everyone to make the biggest fights happen. And what you see on stage is a result of that. Jake, your desire to turn the boxing world upside down is admirable. You are a true gallo loco. For taking on former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who went all 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. I commend both of you for taking on this fight. The co-main event, presented by Golden Boy Promotions, is another amazing matchup. The history-making WBA and WBO cruiserweight champ, Zurdo Ramirez, will represent Mexico with absolute pride as he defends his hard-earned championship hardware against mandatory challenger, the dangerous former world champion, Yuniel Dorticos, who will be coming in ravenous to steal Zurdo's shine. I have absolute confidence in Zurdo, who, by the way, has made history 3 times in his career. First, by becoming the first super middleweight world champion from Mexico before Canelo even held the world titles. Then as the first Mexican cruiserweight world champion, and finally as the first ever unified world champion of Mexican descent. I can't wait to see Zurdo make even more history on June 28. Buenas tardes a todos. La emoción en el aire es electrizante mientras somos testigos de un evento increíble ante nuestros ojos. Primero, quiero agradecerle a Jake Paul, a Nakisa y a todo el equipo de MVP y The Zone por permitir Golden Boy sea parte de este gran evento de pay-per-view. Estamos encantados de trabajar con ustedes y de presentar una cartelera que los fanáticos de todo el mundo puedan disfrutar. Pueden revisar el historial. He gritado con todo mi corazón que estoy dispuesto a trabajar con quien sea y como sea para hacer realidad las peleas más grandes. Y lo que ven hoy en el escenario es el resultado de ese compromiso. Jake, tu deseo de sacudir el mundo del boxeo es admirable. Eres un verdadero gallo loco por enfrentarte al ex campeón mundial Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., quien aguantó los 12 asaltos contra un gran campeón de Canelo Álvarez. Ambos los felicito por aceptar este reto. La pelea coestelar presentada por Golden Boy es otro enfrentamiento espectacular. El histórico zurdo Ramírez representará a México con absoluto orgullo al defender su cinturón de campeón contra el peligroso ex campeón mundial Yuniel Dórticos, quien tiene 27 peleas, una perdida y 26 knockouts, algo así. Un peleador muy fuerte que no es correlón. Tengo absoluta confianza en zurdo, quien por cierto ha hecho historia 3 veces en su carrera. Primero, al convertirse el primer campeón mundial de peso supermediano mexicano, antes de que Canelo fuera campeón en esa división. Luego, como el primer campeón mundial mexicano en peso crucero y finalmente como el primer campeón mundial unificado de ascendencia mexicana. Estoy ansioso por ver a zurdo hacer una más historia el 28 de junio. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar. We're going to open this up to questions in just a couple of minutes, but I've got a few of my own. And Jake, I want to start with you. Been an interesting few months. You've had some stops and starts since the win over Mike Tyson. We've heard a lot of different names associated with your next fight, but you're back and you're stepping into the ring with a former middleweight world champion. Why was this the right fight for you?
I think this fight's been brewing for quite some time now. The fans have wanted to see this, and I want to continue to elevate and rise my opponents, and this is a former world champion. He has an amazing resume, following in his dad's footsteps and, coming short, of course. But this guy is a great fighter, and I want to test myself against the best in the world.
You heard Oscar say that the experience on this man's resume includes going 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. How important is it to you to do what Canelo on that night could not and stop Julio Cesar Chavez?
I'm going to shock the world once again and prove how good I am, how powerful I am. This is his toughest fight to date, and I'm going to embarrass him and make him quit like he always does.
His father, Julio Sr., Mexican legend, he has said in the build-up to this press event that he sees a renewed spirit in his son. He says he has never seen his son this focused going into the fight. Is that what you want? Do you want the best of Julio Cesar Chavez?
Yeah, I don't want any excuses. And when I beat this man, all the boxing media, like you guys always do, are going to discredit it. But I'm going to expose him, and I'm going to embarrass him. He's the embarrassment of Mexico. Mexico doesn't even claim him, and he's going to get exposed on June 28th. And then the boxing media will have all these excuses. But I don't want them to be having these excuses because they say he's training hard. They say this is the most focused he's ever been. Good. And as he should be, because people don't realize how good I actually am. And when he feels those first punches, he's going to want to quit and go back to his stool.
We've seen you move around at different types of events. Events like you had last year against Mike Tyson, some of the more traditional boxing matches. This is maybe a little bit of both. You've got a former champion sitting over here to the left with a big name. Does this signal to the boxing world that you're looking to get back on that championship path, the pursuit of a world title?
Yeah, look, I always said it. I'm going to fight really tough people, and I'm going to fight big money fights. This is prize fighting. And so I'm giving the fans what they want with every single fight, taking on tougher opponents, and this is just that.
I can't help but notice it's a cruiserweight fight. The co-main event is a cruiserweight world title. If you look just to your right, there are 2 belts sitting there on the stage. Is it at all in your mind, if you beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that a matchup with that man, Zurdo Ramirez, might not be far behind?
Yeah, 100%, man. This is what I came here to do, is become world champion and to create one of the greatest sports stories the world has ever seen. Going from Disney Channel to YouTube to world champion in 6 to 7 years, that's the most relatable and best sports story that any kid can get behind, and that's what I'm here to do, is inspire the next generation and do what no one's ever done before in the world's hardest sport, which is boxing.
You faced some hostile environments in the past, the Nate Diaz fight being one of them, but this might be the most hostile you've walked into. Southern California, 2 Mexicans on the card. What do you think about fighting in this type of atmosphere?
Man, the Mexicans love me, bro. Like, I'm stepping into my home environment. They love me more than they love this guy. You know, Mexico doesn't even claim him, so that's just the way it is. And I love my Mexican fans, and they've always been rocking with me since day one. And I'm going to show him who the real Mexican warrior is.
All right. Well, Julio, I think Claudia is going to interpret for us here. He called you an embarrassment. He called you a quitter. What do you think of that?
Crazy. Jake is crazy. I think he's overrated. You know, he's not fighting anybody in his life. You know, he's fighting old Mike Tyson.
And I beat Anderson Silva, who whooped your ass.
Dile que bullshit.
I don't think I need to translate that. Dime, Julio.
El día 28 vamos a ver qué onda con él.
July 28th,
Porque,
June 28th, he's going to see what's up.
mira, para empezar,
To start off,
nunca ha noqueado a nadie.
he's never knocked anybody out.
Dime a uno que haya noqueado.
Give me one name he's knocked out.
Uno.
Just one.
Knockout.
Es como si yo peleara con mi papá. Aunque él es mejor que yo, lo puedo noquear.
It's like if I fought with my dad, even though he's better than me, but, you know, he's just old.
So,
He's talking about Mike Tyson.
va a ser una buena pelea, pero
I'll whoop both
voy a
your
ganar.
asses on the same night.
It's going to be a good fight.
Put both the Chavezes in there. I'll whoop senior and junior.
Hey,
Hey,
dile que
Julio.
cuando él nació, yo ya era campeón, dile.
When you were born, I was already a champ.
There's 2 things you can't beat. There's 2 things you can't beat. Me and your drug addiction.
Well, Julio, you
Get it
have
right, bro.
you have had
Get
your
it right.
struggles in recent years. How are you feeling coming into this fight? What is different about you coming into this fight that we haven't seen the last couple of years?
No, me siento muy bien, me siento renovado porque no me han pegado golpes en la cabeza como a él. Digo, estoy mucho más mejor que lo que él está ahorita.
I feel very good. I feel refreshed and renewed. I didn't get blows to the head, so I'm a lot better than he is.
What do you think you have to do to win on June 28th?
Prepararme al 100 y ser el mejor que puedo ser, porque sé que no está fácil, está fuerte, pero preparándome al 100% sé que lo voy a ganar.
I need to prepare 100%. This is an interesting fight. It might not be easy, but, you know, I'm going to do the best I can to be the best person I am, but I think I'm going to take him.
I'd like to ask Julio Sr., you've said that you've seen something different in your son coming into this fight. What have you seen?
¿Que has visto algo
What do you
diferente? ¿Te traduzco?
Por favor.
Que has visto algo diferente en tu hijo ahora. ¿Qué es lo que ves?
Lo veo muy bien enfocado, gracias a Dios. Con todo respeto que le tengo a Jet Paul. Así como está entrenando Julio, tenía yo años que no lo miraba entrenar como está entrenando ahora. No hay manera, no hay por dónde Jet Paul le puede ganar a mi hijo. Así como está entrenando, como está preparando, con todo respeto, pero no, nos vamos a chingar a este cabrón.
I've never seen him train like this. He's very focused. The way he's training right now, I have never seen that before. There is no way.
No hay por dónde, no hay por dónde, no hay por dónde. Así como se está preparando Julio, si sigue así hasta la pelea, no hay por dónde le gane Jake Paul. Porque Jake Paul no es peleador.
With all due respect to Jake Paul, the way Julio is training right now, there is no way, no how that Jake Paul can beat my son. No way. With the way that he's working out right now.
Jake, I'd imagine that's what you want to hear, right? That, you know, whatever he's gone through in the past, that he's going to be on his very best on fight night.
Yeah, we'll see, you know, and I think it can be short-lived, but that's not a champion's mindset to when you get a big fight, all of a sudden you start training hard. I train as hard as possible no matter who I'm fighting, and that just shows you the type of person he is.
We heard Julio say, we heard Jake say that he's going to knock you out, he's going to make you quit. What do you think you can do to him on June 28th?
¿Sí? Oh. Mira, yo pienso que realmente él nunca ha peleado con alguien como yo.
He's never fought anybody like me.
Por supuesto, Mike Tyson ya no era boxeador.
Of course, Mike Tyson wasn't even a fighter.
Entonces pienso que no puede saber lo que le espera porque nunca lo ha conocido.
He doesn't know what he's going to see or what he can expect because he's never seen it.
En el boxeo se aprende paso a paso.
In boxing, you learn step by step.
Le faltan varios.
He's missing out many.
All right, we're looking forward to that fight. Main event, June 28th, Jake Paul, Julio Cesar, Chavez Jr. As I mentioned, the co-main event is fantastic. Zurdo Ramirez has been on a meteoric rise in the cruiserweight division. 3 fights at cruiserweight, 2 of them have been world title fights. Now the unified champion in the 200-pound weight class. Zurdo, I'll ask you, you've been headlining for a while now. What was your reaction when this fight on this card was brought to you?
I mean, I'm just grateful to be here. And I mean, it's a great card. And I mean, it's a good show. But at the end of the day, I just want to keep my belt and do my title defense and move forward.
You know, Dornicas has been a well-known guy at cruiserweight for many years, fighting in the World Boxing Super Series, fighting some top guys at cruiserweight. What do you think about this challenge?
I mean, he's a great challenge. He's a former world champion, and that's what I'm facing him. And I mean, I'm just glad to be here, and then June 20th, I will keep my belt. That's all.
You've proven yourself against some of the best in the cruiserweight division, but you have not faced maybe a puncher like this. How do you think you will handle Uniel's power?
I mean, on the gym, I've been training. I think I will handle pretty well, and we'll see. I'm be ready for June 20th.
I asked Jake this. I'll ask it to you. You're in the same weight. You're in the same weight class now as Jake Paul. Both of you guys fighting at cruiserweight. What do you think of Jake as a fighter, and how would you feel about a showdown with Jake down the line?
I mean, he's been doing a great job, what he's doing. And, I mean, he has a good challenge. And, I mean, if he wants the belt, maybe one day, right? Right now, Zurdo Ramirez is the champion, and I don't know. He has to pass the test first.
All right, well, good luck on the 28th. It's going to be a terrific...
One day, maybe.
We'll turn to Uniel. You've been waiting patiently for this opportunity. How are you feeling coming into this fight?
Has estado esperando pacientemente por una oportunidad. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Bueno, primeramente, gracias a Dios por estar aquí hoy. Darle las gracias a este maravilloso público, darle las gracias a MVP, a Wonder Boy, a Wario Unboxing, a Luis de Cuba por siempre estar aquí conmigo y decirle que Los Ángeles va a temblar. El doctor del Nocao regresa con todos sus misiles.
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody that came here to attend this press conference. I want to thank, obviously, MVP, Golden Boy, Warrior Boxing, Luis de Cuba, who has never left his side. And he promises that on June 28th, even the angels will shake because the KO doctor is back.
You had some excellent years in the early teens, mid-teens. You're 39 years old now. You've had 3 fights since 2020. Do you still feel like you're at your best?
¿Tuviste una carrera espectacular en tu juventud Obviamente ha pasado unos años, ya tienes 39 años. ¿Cómo crees que vas a recibir este reto ya que llevas bastante tiempo fuera del ring?
Bueno, tengo 39 años, me siento como un niño y estoy bien contento de estar en esta cartelera, una cartelera que van a ver muchos mexicanos, va a estar Jake Paul. Esto para mí va a ser lo más grande de mi carrera. Y el 28 de junio todos van a saber quién es el doctor del knockout con 39 años.
He says, yes, the paper might say I'm 39, but I feel like a young man. And I am absolutely very grateful for this opportunity, but, you know, on June 28th, everybody will know that who is the KO doctor.
Yeah, you are the KO doctor. 25 knockouts in your 27 wins. We've seen Zurdo face some big guys in the cruiserweight division, but do you think he's faced anyone with your kind of power?
Bueno, tu récord es bastante impresionante. De todas tus victorias, casi el 85% por la vía del knockout. Y obviamente el zurdo ha enfrentado hombres bastante grandes. ¿Tú crees que él en algún momento ha enfrentado a alguien con tu poder?
Bueno, eso va a tener que demostrarlo el 28 porque ha peleado con buenos boxeadores, pero no ha peleado con un tipo tan pegador como yo.
Well, we're going to have to see on June 28th. Yeah, he's fought big guys, but he's never fought anybody like me.
All right, well, good luck on June 28th. We're going to open things up for questions in just a moment. But before we do, I want to get some predictions from the people here on the dais about the cards they're not part of. And Jake, we'll start with you. Again, tremendous fight as the co-main event. All-action fight between two top cruiserweights. Who do you like in Ramirez versus Dorticas?
Yeah, look, I think it can go either way. Dorticas has that knockout power, but, you know, Zurdo is a force to be reckoned with. But, you know, I think it's just going to be who wants it more, and I feel like Zurdo, maybe as the younger man, is going to be able to withstand the longer rounds.
Julio, we'll turn to you. Co-main event, Zurdo, Dorticas, who do you like?
Sinaloa. Sinaloa.
Sinaloa? I think that's the answer everybody understands. Zurdo, we'll turn to you. Maybe a bit of a conflict for you. Main event, Jake Paul against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Who do you see winning?
I mean, it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for both of them. Both of them is coming back to Junior, and Jake Paul, he wants the winner too. I mean, I don't know. It will be a good show.
That is not a prediction.
No lo sé, va a ser, yo creo que la gente va a salir ganando, va a ser un buen espectáculo, la gente quiere ver esta pelea y pues que gane el mejor.
I think the audience is the one that's going to end up winning because it's going to be a great fight and it's going to be entertaining for everybody that's watching.
All right, well, that's kind of lame, but we'll let you get away with that. Julio, we'll turn to you. The main event, Julio and Jake Paul, who do you like?
En el evento estelar entre Julio y Jake Paul, ¿quién te gusta?
Que gane el mejor el 28.
May the best man win on June 28th.
You guys are all soft.
Te acaban de decir que eres suave. Te acaban de decir que eres suave, Dorty.
Que ganen el mejor y que terminen con buena salud.
May the best man win and they both end up in good health.
All right, how about a man that is going to give us an answer? Julio Sr., how does the fight end between your son and Jake Paul?
¿Cómo termina, Julio, cómo termina la pelea entre tu hijo y Jake Paul?
Si fuera brujo te dijera ahorita, ¿me entiendes?
If I was a wizard, I'd tell you right now.
No, yo creo que va a ser, todas las peleas son duras, todas las peleas son difíciles.
All fights are difficult.
Jake Paul es un muchacho joven, fuerte.
Jake Paul is young and strong.
Pero como les vuelvo a decir, no, yo creo que no ha peleado con un peleador como mi hijo Julio.
But he's never faced a fighter like
El
myself.
pelear con Mike Tyson, con todo respeto, yo le hubiera dado mejor pelea a Paul que Tyson.
With all due respect, fighting Mike Tyson, I think I would have given him a better fight.
No tiró un solo golpe en toda la pelea.
He didn't throw one punch all fight.
O sea, ¿cómo vas a ganar una pelea sin tirar golpes?
How can you win without throwing punches?
Un solo golpe, el primer round nomás tiró golpes Tyson, después de ahí para allá no tiró ni un solo golpe.
Tyson
o sea,
only threw
¿a quién le ganó
punches
Jake
in the
Paul? ¿A quién le ganó?
Who did Jake Paul beat that night?
Con todo respeto, o sea,
With all due respect.
Tyson no peleó.
Tyson
Si
didn't
Tyson
fight.
hubiera peleado, aunque sea un round, en un round lo hubiera noqueado.
At least one round, and probably he would have gotten knocked out.
Pero esta vez es diferente, ¿no? Esta vez es diferente. Ahora
This
va a
time
pelear
is
con un
different.
peleador que sí le va a echar chingazos, ¿me entiendes? Entonces vamos a ver si realmente aguanta.
This time, I'm going to translate verbatim. This time he's going to get fucked up.
I promise you that this fight will end in the same way it always does. I'm going to turn you into another meme with your head in your hands and another disappointment in your son. I promise you. I promise you.
What? What do you say?
Que esta vez te prometo que vas a
I said
terminar.
fucking puta. That's what I said. Fucking puta.
Esta vez vas a terminar como en todas las peleas, con tu cabeza entre las manos y obviamente con una desaveniencia, un desabor a raíz de tu hijo.
Otra vez no te entendí.
Que esta vez, esta pelea va a terminar como todas las peleas de Julito. Tú con tu cabeza entre tus manos y básicamente...
No, pero de gusto, gritando. ¡Amo, me chingamos este cabrón! ¡Hablador, cabrón!
Maybe you're right, but I'm gonna have my
Es puro
my hand.
bullshit. Y a la hora de la pelea anda, corre.
Okay, I don't think I need
Ya de la
to...
derecha, ya de la derecha.
Jab, and right, and all he's gonna do is run.
Thanks, you're going to run, Jake.
He will see. He will see. This is his toughest test yet.
Que este va a ser, que vas a ver, este es el examen más difícil para Julito.
Es cierto, vamos a ver.
Let's see if that's true.
All right,
I think it's funny that Daddy does all the talking. I didn't know it was bring your dad to work day.
No sabíamos que que el papá tenía que hacer toda el palabrerío, que no sabía que este era el día de traer el
But
padre
then
al
again,
trabajo.
you're nothing without your dad.
Pero tú no
Nepo
eres nadie
baby.
sin tu papá.
You were born with a silver spoon in
Me
your mouth.
confundí, dile que como le gustan los viejitos, creí que quería a mi papá. Dile.
You like old man, that's why I brought him, because maybe you like my dad.
All right. We're going to open things up to some questions from the media. Start over here on my left side. Go ahead.
This is Edward Kowich with LA Times. I have one question for Jake and one for Julio. Jake, you have been improving a lot in boxing, and you're obviously making a lot of money. Is there, how far do you think you are from a world title fight, and what do you need to in order to get there?
Yeah, we're very close. I think less than 2 years, the right opportunity just has to open up. But right now I'm focused on this former world champion, and this is going to build my resume and build my skill set under the lights.
Y una para ti, Julio. Has estado obviamente en grandes peleas. ¿Qué es lo que te motiva hoy en día y qué tanto necesitas el boxeo activo en tu vida?
Pues me motiva a ganar la pelea, seguir entrenando, me siento bien, por eso decidí volver a pelear. Y es lo que me motiva a ganar la pelea y seguir peleando buenas peleas.
Thank you. Gracias.
Over here to the right.
Gail Falkenthal, NY Fights. Jake, you do take a lot of criticism from the boxing media, but one thing I think you have always been recognized for is that you work very hard. You have a work ethic that is superb. Your opponent, not so much. How are both of you either going to lean into those reputations or use them to help you in this fight?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's the one thing about boxing is the truth always comes out in the ring. So they can sit here with his dad and do the whole entire show and act all confident. But June 28th, you're going to see the truth. And the truth is that this guy is a quitter. This guy was never meant for this sport. He's the one that should have been on Disney Channel instead of ruining his family's legacy by being an embarrassment, not being in the gym, etc. So June 28th, you're going to see who the real champion is.
And Julio, how can you lean against your past reputation with the fight coming up?
Creo que pues mira, dice que él tiene buena reputación y yo no. O sea,
They keep saying that he has a good reputation and I don't.
No sé de qué hablas porque yo soy un boxeador de veras y él todavía no.
I don't know what people are talking about. I'm a real boxer.
Oh, para llegar a ser campeón del mundo se necesita disciplina, dile. Para pelear con cualquier pendejo, pues no se necesita.
To fight against a world champion, you need discipline, but to fight against some idiot, you don't need to do much.
Julio, Jake talked about your family legacy. Is this fight important for that legacy?
It's for me.
We're back over to the left, Marcos.
Marcos Villegas, Fight Up TV. This question is for Junior first. Junior, we are hearing your dad saying that he hasn't seen you train this way in a very long time. What made the difference this time? Where's the motivation coming from to train this way?
Mira, mi papá, porque DJ Paul dice que habla mucho por mí, él puede decir lo que él quiera porque es una leyenda de Julio César Chávez, yo no le puedo decir nada, su opinión siempre va a ser válido, pues, y pues, como te digo, es para mí, me pone contento de que saber que mi papá pues esté apoyándome, ¿me entiendes? Solamente por eso.
So my dad can say whatever he wants. He is a legend, and obviously I'm very happy that I have his support, and I'm glad that he's here, and that's the reason why, you know, everything is right. But the question was, la pregunta fue, ¿qué es lo que te motiva ahora para esta pelea? What motivates you now?
Y pues todo en general, pues que esté bien mi familia, que estén contentos con lo que estoy haciendo, y me motiva a ganar, sobre todo ganar la pelea.
Well, I'm just very glad that not just me, but my whole family is very happy with what I'm doing. And the biggest motivation, to win.
And my last one is for Senior. Senior, what's your honest assessment and opinion of Jake's skills and what he's shown in previous fights?
Julio, ¿qué te parece las habilidades de Jake Paul y lo que has visto en los últimos años?
No, la verdad, se le admira lo que ha hecho porque no siendo, con todo respeto, la verdad, no siendo un peleador que empezó desde muy joven, pues lo que ha hecho se le respeta, la verdad, se le respeta porque de una u otra forma, pues ha llamado la atención a nivel mundial, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, se respeta lo que hace, pero ya boxísticamente, digo, con todo el respeto, para mí en lo particular, si yo fuera Julio, mi hijo, con todo respeto, no tengo duda de que me fuera a ganar, ¿me entiendes? Porque yo sé perfectamente bien que Julio es mucho mejor peleador que Jake Paul. Sí, Jake Paul es más joven, es cierto, está fuerte, levanta muchas pesas, se ve mamadito, ¿me entiendes? Pero eso no indica nada, ¿me entiendes? Las pesas, lo mamadito que se ven, eso no significa nada. Porque arriba del ring se necesita saber boxear, se necesita saber fajarse. Y a lo que he visto de Jake Paul, la verdad, pues, mi respeto para él, pero no veo por dónde le gane Julio, con todo respeto. O sea, así como estoy viendo entrenar a mi hijo Julio, lógicamente todo depende de él, ¿no? Todo depende de él, que se siga preparando como lo está haciendo, que realmente está tomando las cosas con mucha seriedad, como tenía años que no lo miraba. Entonces,
Bro, turn this shit into an audiobook. Shut the fuck up already.
Estoy hablando bien de ti, cabrón.
The last thing he said, I'm saying good things about you. So there's a level of admiration and there's a level of respect because obviously he's not a fighter that started at a very young age. So his progress is admirable, but with all due respect, he's not a true fighter. And what I see in my son right now, the way he's training, which I haven't seen him train at this level for many, many years, and if he keeps this up until the fight, there is no way he's gonna beat my son. My son is a true fighter, and I know exactly what he has. And Jake Paul, with all due respect, you have no idea what to expect. So I admire what you've done. You've brought a lot of attention to the sport. You've brought a completely different audience. But he could be lifting weights and training and looking very cute, but this is fighting. And my son is a fighter.
All right, over to the right.
All right, Chris Deve Boxeo for Jake Paul. Jake, today you arrived to this media press conference, but you arrived with the little dog right here. Can you talk a little bit about that entrance you made?
Yeah, I just drove up and then walked out of the car.
All right, and Julio, Julio, ya tenemos mucho tiempo promoviendo esta pelea. Por fin se da. ¿A quién le vas a dedicar esta pelea, Julio?
Sí, tenía mucho tiempo que se hablaba de esta pelea. Qué bueno que se hizo. Y pues yo creo que al boxeo para que el boxeo siga teniendo el respeto que merece.
Well, I'm just very happy that this fight finally came to fruition, and I'm going to dedicate this fight to boxing so we can bring respect back to the sport that deserves it.
Jake, you've been in boxing for, what, 5 years-ish now? Still getting the not a real fighter stuff. Does that bother you any more or less than it used to?
Nah, people are stupid as fuck, bro. You have to remember that shit. Like, I seen what these people cheer for, so I don't care what they boo for. I don't really give a fuck about people's opinions, and these people don't know who I am or what my team is made of, and they're just going to see, like I always do. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it, and that's why I'm where I'm at today, and none of these sheep matter to me.
All right, let's turn to a sheep over there, Lance Pugmire.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Lance Pugmire, Boxing Scene. Jake, first question for you. If you knock out Junior, is that the final threshold for you to be able to say, I'm ready to fight Zurdo Ramirez for a championship?
I'm ready now, you know. This is just a stepping stone. I see him as a speed bump, but I know what I'm capable of, and that's the mindset you have to have. I know I'm the greatest. I know I'm a world champion even before I arrive to that level, and so he could get it whenever.
And Jake, you were poised to fight, just real quick, you were poised to fight at a world championship level. You were talking about Canelo months ago. Has it been easy to kind of shift your attention away from that and onto this man?
Yeah, look, I'm used to boxing politics, the ups, the downs, the ebbs and flows, fights falling through. So at this point, you know, I can change my mindset and focus on a different opponent. And he's still a former world champion. It's a 10-round fight, and my, you know, most experienced opponent to date. So I have to stay locked in, and I'm training hard no matter who the opponent is or when the fight is.
Great, and Zurdo, if Jake does that, if he knocks him out and calls you out, given everything that he brings to the sport, the drawing power, the views, the attendance, will you embrace that challenge immediately?
I mean, I had this opponent, Orticos. I had to take care of first this match, and then, I mean, whoever, don't matter.
All right. Turn over here to the right.
Christina Snow at Snow Queen LA. Jake, if you could give Chavez Jr. a nickname, what would it be?
Say it again.
If you could give Chavez Jr. a nickname, what would it be?
Cocaína.
And,
Claudia, clear translate.
And,
Le preguntaron que Jake, ¿qué apodo te daría si pudiera cambiarte el apodo? Y dijo cocaína.
also for...
Yo le regalaría un par de huevos, dile, para que tenga.
And he would give Jake a pair of eggs, meaning obvious.
And Chavez Sr., if you would like to add anything, if you can translate, please, for Chavez Sr. If you could give Jake a nickname.
You said if you could give Jake a nickname, what would it be? To you, Julio.
Si quisieras tú darle un apodo, Julio Sr., un apodo a Jake Paul, ¿cuál sería? Julia y Julio están aquí.
Me reservo el derecho de hablar, dile.
I will reserve the right to say whatever I wanted to say.
Okay. Gracias.
All right. Another question over here on the left.
Lo que sí le puedo decir es que el día de la pelea se va a dar una sorpresa.
What I can tell you is that on fight night, he will have a surprise.
Dile porque no es sorpresa ya.
Dime.
Que no se la diga porque ya no va a ser sorpresa.
Ah, exacto. Julio says, don't say anything because obviously then it won't be a surprise.
Saúl Rodríguez de Telemundo Junior, si no es boxeador tu rival, ¿por qué aceptaste la pelea?
Mira, se trata de ponerle también un poco lo que es, pues, o sea, somos rivales arriba del ring, son personas que pesan más de 200 libras y sí sabe pelear, pero estamos hablando que fui campeón del mundo, entonces estamos hablando de no saber pelear es no ser un gran boxeador, me explico, entonces creo que para eso le falta, ¿me entiendes? Y es un boxeador que va empezando, pero le echa ganas y está fuerte, entonces tiene peligro en ese aspecto y es más joven. No es que no sepa pelear, aparte, mire, todos los medios están aquí, gracias a Dios, a la gente le interesa, a nosotros nos interesa, ¿me explico? Es lo más importante. Todo boxeador quiere buenas bolsas, quiere estar en eventos grandes, quiere que la gente lo vea y pues la pelea tiene todos los ingredientes, así que hay que respetar eso.
Gracias.
The question was, if Jake Paul is not a true fighter, why did you take this fight? Julio said, you know, it is what it is. Regardless of the fact that he's very young, this is a fight that is attracting a lot of attention. We are two grown men, 200 plus pounds. He is an opponent. What I said is not that he can't fight. What I'm saying is I am a world champion. I've been a world champion. I've been fighting all my life. He's just starting. So there's levels to this. So look at this. All the media attention. We're all here. You're all interested. Therefore, I'm interested too.
Jake, I'll give you the last word. Why do you think he took this fight?
Heyday.
I think that's self-explanatory. I apologize. We're being told we have to wrap up this press conference here. We're going to let these fighters leave the stage for a moment. We're going to face them off in just a couple of minutes. Well, before we get to the face-off, I want to welcome up to the stage the CEO and co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Nikisa Badarian. We have one more fight to announce on this card before we get to these face-off. Two fighters will also be joining the undercard. They're set to face off in a 10-round lightweight bout with 2-minute rounds. These two women's fighters are the newest signees to Most Valuable Promotions, joining what is a rapidly growing stable of women's boxers, including some of the biggest names in women's boxing today. First up, at 10-0, one of Mexico's brightest stars, fresh off a dominant victory over Claudia Lopez last March, please welcome MVP's newest signee from Sonora, Mexico, Yolanda Vega. Joining Yolanda on stage is a woman that needs no introduction to combat sports fans, one of the best two-sport stars in combat sports history. She has a boxing record of 33 wins, 2 defeats, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. She's held multiple titles and is looking to make another run at a world championship. Please welcome the former UFC bantamweight champion, one of the biggest names in women's combat sports, the preacher's daughter from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Holly Holm. All right, we're going to bring up the co-main event fighters for their face-off. Along with them, the CEO of Golden Boy, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya, who will face off these two fighters. And now we'll bring up the two men in the main event, which I think is going to be a terrific fight in the cruiserweight division. The former middleweight champion, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and the problem child, Jake Paul. Well, thank you to everybody for attending this press conference. Thank you to all the fans and media who showed up. June 28th, live from the Honda Center, Anaheim, California, DAZN pay-per-view. Do not miss Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Ahí va a ser.
Well, thank you again, everybody. June 28th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. You can check out a lot of great content up now over at DAZN.com. Media, well, you're already there. You're doing the scrums right now. Stick around. Everybody will be available. Thank you.
You ducked off because it wasn't all just my fault. So you ducked off because. I have to start and stop it.